Lori, you've managed over 50 billion in supply chains. How does that level of operations experience shape how you build systems for creators and entrepreneurs today?
Managing over $50 billion in supply chain. Um, and it's less about the revenue number, it's more about the complexity of the projects and programs that are being worked. And so when you think about that, especially across hospital networks, it's critically important to understand every single nuance and detail in the vision that each individual has, the vision that you have for your customers, and ultimately what you want the experience to be. And once you can identify those things, weave them together, that is the basis to begin to frame what the operational system needs to look like. And so I think by working in the most complex situations with sometimes mom and pop companies that are integrating themselves into a bigger network, and both visions being realized, it makes it easier to identify how things need to connect, how they need to weave together, and ultimately how they need to perform. So I've worked some of the biggest to some of the smallest. And by way of that, I believe that it has ultimately prepared me to serve my clients and my customers in a way that will ultimately help them reach their dreams, not just to start up or to start whatever it is that they want to pursue, but to scale to the largest clients and customers that they choose to serve.
And so to bolt on to that, what are some of the practices for getting the mindset to that? Because you're coming from this super large scale. You are, I don't know if that's a disrespectful thing to say or not, but you're coming down to a smaller venture, and you're selling them on the idea of it can be this, or you sell whatever idea you're selling them on is the fact that it can grow past where they are. And I know a lot of people that have those mom and pop shops, a lot of the thinking, it sometimes it can kind of be stuck there. That like this, they've kind of created ceilings because of belief in themselves, belief in what they're selling, different things like that. How do you get them to think that like that $1 billion mindset, whether they hit that or not, but just that mindset that allows them to start working to achieve even larger outcomes for what some would consider a small business? I feel like everything's a small business till it's not.
Yeah, I think that is the exact point. Everything is small until it's not. Every idea starts out in someone's head that's then articulated either through their mouth or onto a piece of paper. Every idea is just that. Even, you think about take it outside of things that I've done, but when you think about, and I always say this, I remember when the iPod was introduced, somebody just wanted to play music in some virtual kind of a way, kind of like the upgraded Walkman kind of scenario, right? And somebody had this wild idea, like, what if we could do this? And what if we could share music here and here? It was an idea on a piece of paper. So no idea is ever starts too small or becomes too big. It's just rationalizing where we're going to start, which parts of the idea make sense for now, which ones should be delayed for a next generation or a phase 2 or a phase 3. And so it's more of getting past the intimidation factor of saying, oh my gosh, it can never be this. Just always remember, every idea started on a piece of paper or just small. Like, what if I could just do this piece? And then once you get that piece up, and I'll lean back to, principles that I hold near and dear. Lean Six Sigma is continuous improvement. How do you continue to improve the thing that you're working on or that you're offering your clients or your customers? So never intimidation. I remember all the ideas that I ever started to work on, some that failed, some that went and became a huge thing. It all started from an idea, and I won't even say on a piece of paper. It started on a whiteboard. And like, what do we do? How do we make this happen? And that has been the genesis of my entire career. Throughout everything you see on my resume, every pivot has started from, we need to do a thing. Go figure it out. Okay. And so that's my superpower, is I take ideas and turn them into a thing, but not just a thing. I turn it into a thing that has systems, which creates scalability. So it doesn't have to stay as small as it was, and it can go as big as you want it to go. It's just built on a chassis of systems.
That makes sense to me, because it's, let's acknowledge where we can go, but let's not focus on that. That's the overwhelming aspect of it. That's where you can kind of get out of sorts with someone that is on that level looking to achieve more. Let's not overwhelm them. Let's not think too much. Let's phase it out. We're focused on where we are right now, but we have a clear understanding of where we want to go. And that's what makes each phase kind of like flow through easier, versus trying to think about this whole versus just the sum of its parts. And there, Lori, is the first course. And so